Welcome to Perfect Perception, the podcast where it's okay to be selfish. In today's episode, we are going to talk about responsibility fatigue. Responsibility fatigue. That's when your body is sitting down, but your mind cannot cut itself off. It's thinking about everything. It's still rolling through all the things. Who needs something? Who may I have forgotten? What didn't I do today? What might go wrong? Who's going to call me for something else? Who's going to need help? And somehow, even when we are tired, a part of us still wants to take care of everything. Now, at this age, I need us to stop acting like tired is always about needing some sleep, because it's not. And usually, we get enough sleep. Sometimes, you're not just sleepy. Sometimes you are tired because your body is sitting down. Well, again, your mind can't shut itself off. It's still rolling through. It's still rolling through. And somehow, even when you are tired, a part of you still has to figure out to take care of it, how to take care of everything. That's responsibility fatigue. And let me tell you something. A little, no, a lot of us have been calling it being dependable. Okay, that's cute. But no, at some point, dependable turned into everybody knowing they could hand off whatever problems, whatever issues, whatever things to you and going about their day. So they've just put on you what their problems were. Well, I'm sorry. Somebody had to say it. I guess that somebody was me, honey. I just don't, yeah. I was in that situation. I have to work really hard to not allow myself to be back in that situation. Okay. I'm talking about the tire that comes from always being the one that's supposed to know what to do about everything. The one who has the answers. The one who knows where the papers are. The one who remembers the special days and special this. The one who books the trips. The one who checks out the flights. The one who knows, like, what, who, hows, the whys, who can eat what, who can have what, who's sensitive about what, who needs to be called, who needs to be reminded of something, who's going through something, and who might be upset if nobody thinks about them. Boo hoo. That is not just being organized, though. It's actually a burden sometimes. It's carrying everything for everybody. And some of us have been carrying it so long, we don't even notice. We don't notice the weights anymore. We just finally decided that it was time to put some of these things down and realize that our mind, even when we called ourselves doing that, was still running, still going 1,000 miles a minute, 1,000 miles a minute. Some of us are tired because we have trained people to expect us to carry everything. Not on purpose. Nope. We didn't do it on purpose. Not because we wanted to be worn out from taking care of everything, but because we were good at it. We were the one who could handle everything. We were the one who could figure it out. We were the one who could make it happen, make it work. We were the one who could stay calm when everything else was feeling like brand new. And because we could do it, we kept doing it. Because that's what we do. That's what we do. Take care of your children. You take care of your home. You take care of your parents. You take care of your spouse or partner. You take care of your work. You take care of your people. You take care of the whatever special days. You take care of the travel plans. You take care of the meals. You take care of the mood in the room. You take care of everybody's comfort. And then one day you look up and ask yourself, now when exactly was I supposed to take care of me? That is why I say there's nothing wrong with being selfish. That's why I named the podcast what I did. Because sometimes selfish is not about being rude. Sometimes selfish is just saying I matter in the equation too. Sometimes selfish is saying I am not available to the automatic solution for today. Not available. Sometimes selfish is just saying, baby, you're grown. You can figure it out. And I know some of us hear that and get a little uncomfortable because we were raised to believe that being a good woman, a good mother, a good wife, a good daughter, a good friend, a good anything, a good father, a good husband, a good anything means making yourself available to the people you love. Always available, always patient, always understanding, always willing to adjust your schedule, your time, always willing to go without, always willing to make it easier for everybody else. But at this age, I say no. We need to tell the truth. Being available all the time does not make you just a loving person, such a, just doesn't. Sometimes it just makes you tired, and at other times it can make you better. Some people are not even asking you for the help. Well, they're not asking it because they truly need the help. They're asking because they know you'll do it and they're used to you picking up the pieces. That's different. Yeah. Need is one thing. That habit, that's a whole nother thing. And a lot of what we are carrying right now is not need. It's just out of habit. They are in the habit of calling you first. You are in the habit of answering. They're in the habit of waiting for you to plan something. You are in the habit of planning. They are in the habit of assuming you will remember. And you are in the habit of remembering. They're in the habit of letting you be the backup plan. Yeah, you're the backup plan. But you are in the habit of being said backup plan. And then everybody acts surprised when you're tired. Everybody acts surprised when you feel unappreciated, when you get a little bit frustrated. Now you know better than that. It is what it is. A person can only be the backup plan for so long before they start feeling like they do not have a life of their own. That's me, that's you. And this is especially true for those of us who are in the 50 plus community. Your empty nesters, your pre-empty nesters, your almost empty nesters, or you're somewhere in space where there's children who are getting older and they are not and should not be needing you as much. But sometimes our mind just doesn't get the memo. Doesn't get the memo. So let's talk about it. People talk about the emptiness like one day the children leave and suddenly you get all this peace. Sounds real cute, doesn't it? But it's not always how things work. Sometimes the house is quieter, but your mind is still loud. Sometimes nobody is leaving dishes in the sink every 5 minutes, but you are still thinking about their bills, their relationships, their jobs, their choices, their emotions, their futures, their safety, their children, and whether they are truly okay. Sometimes the nest is empty, but your phone isn't. Somebody's calling, somebody's texting, needs advice, needs money, needs you to listen. Somebody needs you to help them think through something they already know the answer to. And because you love them, you answer because that's your child, that's your family. It's just what you do. But here's the part we got to start saying out loud that just because they are still my child, your child, does not mean every problem is still your responsibility. That's it, that's all. They're adults now. So let me say that again, louder for the people in the back. Just because they are your child does not mean every problem is still your responsibility. And some of us need to sit with that, meditate on it. Because we have adult children now, yes, or almost adult children. And we are moving like we have toddlers who can't survive unless we step in and walk them through. But they are grown. They're grown. And whatever we could teach them, we did. Or they are becoming grown, but they have still learned quite a few lessons being in our household, in our presence, and watching our situations and how we handle them. And if we keep jumping in every time life asks them to learn a little something, then we're not helping them as much as we think anyway. We're just exhausting ourselves and delaying their growth. Now, I'm not saying don't be there for your children. That's not exactly what I'm saying. Don't get it twisted. Don't twist the words that I'm saying. You can love your children. We all do. You can support them. We all do. You can pray for them. We definitely need to do that. You can talk to them. You can guide them. You can be there when it matters. But being there does not mean being on call for every simple inconvenience, every little problem. That's not it. Being there does not mean rescuing them from every consequence. Being there does not mean losing your peace because they didn't plan ahead. Being there does not mean turning your whole day upside down every time they have a feeling. At this age, love has to mature too. You know, we grow, our love grows, and it becomes something different. Love can't be looking like the I'll drop everything and here I come. Sometimes love has to look like I believe you can handle it. Sometimes love has to look like I'm listening, but I'm not taking this over. Sometimes love just has to look like I know you're upset, but I'm not going to make this my emergency. And that may feel selfish at first, but that's not selfish. Again, that's sanity. Because if you are 50 plus, you've already spent decades being responsible for other people's needs. You've done your part. And now you may be in season where you are like, you're still parenting, but in a different way. You're still helping, but in a different way. You're still working, still managing your own health, still trying to have a relationship with your spouse, still trying to have friendships, still trying to travel, still trying to enjoy your life, and still trying to figure out what you want now. Because now it is about you, and can and should be all about you. That's a lot. So, no, you do not need to add everybody else's poor planning, emotional chaos, and last minute requests to your plate and then call it love. Hmm, not in my book, honey. Somebody needed to say it. I guess I'm it. And let's talk about aging parents too, for a moment, because that's a real one. And it's the one where we actually do owe some respect to. A lot of people in this stage are not just dealing with children, but they're dealing with elderly parents. Now, I'm quite fortunate. My mother, baby, can run circles around most people, definitely most of her peers, but most people, even my age, she can run circles around, and she's in her 70s. So I'm fortunate, but not everybody has that. they have to take care of their parents. They have the doctor's appointments, the medications, the paperwork, the phone calls, the check-ins, the making all the decisions. My sister has this for my dad. She takes care of my dad, and these are all of her responsibilities. She does them, and she does them well. I always say that I had him when he was younger, and she has him now, but I didn't have nearly what she has. And gracefully taking responsibility for it. She's graceful about it. Like having all the hard conversations, she does that, and trying to keep dignity in the room. She helps to keep his dignity. Trying to stay respectful, because it can be hard. My father has dementia, and so he can be a pill. So she actually is and has taken on that role. And again, I have to say she's done it extremely gracefully. When you're used to thinking about everybody, though, when you're used to taking care of everybody and neglecting your own needs, it gets tiring. Because with that, she does get tired. She gets a little frustrated. She needs a little bit of relaxation for herself. She needs to have a plan to do things for herself. And that's super important. And she takes those times to do that. Now, when we're talking about aging parents and we're talking about adult children and we're talking about all of the things that becomes a part of our lives, we have to talk about self-care, right? Because if something goes wrong and for everybody else, what happens when something goes wrong for you? Right? When something goes wrong for everybody else, what happens when something goes wrong for you? Because nobody has asked in like quite a long time, about you. And I'm sure they don't think about it. You're strong enough to do this. You're strong enough to do that. They're used to you taking a hold of these things, and they're used to you being the go-to for everything, everything, everything. So you've taken, well, for these decades, you've taken on everything. Why would it stop now? Right? But here's the thing. We are allowed, we are allowed to choose ourselves. We are allowed to choose having just a little bit less responsibility. We're allowed to choose comfort, allowed to choose our vacation, our next flight, our whatever. It, we are also allowed to say, I'm not planning, you know, this whole thing by myself. I'm not doing everything by myself anymore. I refuse. I refuse to take on other people's responsibilities. I just refuse. And guess what? Somebody needed to say it. I guess I'm it. Not everybody's good with travel, in this season of life. Some people turn every trip into a group project. Some people need to do too much with the managing part of things. Some people don't plan at all. If they complain real good. Some people want luxury, but they don't even know what that means and what it should look like for them. Some people want to figure everything out, but then they want to critique the final product. Nope, not doing it. Nope. At this age, peace matters, and it matters a lot. Comfort matters. It matters a lot. Having things done for us and catering to us matters a lot. The way your body feels, it matters. The way your mind feels, it matters. And that doesn't make you a difficult person. It doesn't make it mean that you stop caring. That just means that you now have standards. There's a difference. Being difficult is making everything a problem. Having standards is knowing what you need to feel. And a lot of us were taught to be low maintenance for so long that yeah, having any needs feels like we're being a difficult person, like we're just causing problems, we're drama filled. But I'm gonna tell you something. Being low maintenance can get expensive. Not always in money, though. Sometimes it costs you your rest, your peace, your comfort, your voice. Sometimes it costs you years of going along with stuff that never really worked for you, never really was your thing. And at this age, we do not need to keep pretending everything is fine when it's not. We just don't. Not our thing. If the trip is too packed, say it. If the house is too loud, say that. If the family expects too much, say that. If you're tired of hosting everything, every special occasion, say it. If you do not want to be the one always making the plan, say that. If your adult kid needs to learn how to solve something without calling you first and all the time, say that stuff. If your sibling needs to step up and your parents need you, say it. Say it. If your spouse or partner has gotten too comfortable letting you carry the details, say it. Not with drama, not with speech, not with guilt. Just be clear about how you feel about certain things. Because sometimes people just don't change. They don't change because they don't know that they need to change. We never actually told them the arrangement wasn't working for us. So they keep doing what they've always done. And that's it. We got quiet, we got tired, we got resentful. We started sighing all over the place. We started doing it anyway, though. So, not their fault. That's ours. Some people are not going to notice as long as the system still works for them. If you keep picking up the phone and you keep calling people and if you keep planning the special occasions and all they have to do is show up, why not? Why would they not? Why would they not? So, thank you for joining me for this episode of Perfect Perception, the podcast where it's okay to be selfish. I am Tanya, I am your host, and I am the owner of Lux Code Travel. If you are looking for a luxury travel experience that personally fits you, I am your travel agent. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.